Is Andy Burnham about to become our next Prime Minister? We all thought that Andy Burnham's leadership hopes were in tatters after he attempted to make moves at the Labour Party conference, but it did not go well at all. But now, Clive Lewis, the backbench rebellious Labour MP, has said that he is so desperate to get rid of Keir Starmer that he will give up his parliamentary seat for Andy Burnham so that Andy can become an MP and challenge Keir Starmer. This is huge news, especially as moves are already underway amongst other MPs to find a way to trigger a leadership challenge. 80 MPs are needed. They need to get behind one candidate, and a leadership challenge can be triggered without Keir Starmer's permission. And apparently 80 MPs have been found for that. This is quite something, ladies and gentlemen. This really could be the beginning of the end for Keir Starmer. He was on shaky ground after it looked like income tax was going to go up at the budget, breaking one of their huge pledges. And then Shabana Mahmood's announcement with her asylum policy changes has really infuriated a lot of Labour MPs who think that it is an attempt to become racist, like Nigel Farage as they think it is. Let's take a look at the details in this GB News article. Clive Lewis, he is the MP for Norwich South. He spoke to the BBC and he was asked whether he would give up his seat so that Andy Burnham, who is currently the mayor of Greater Manchester, can step down from his mayoralty and run as an MP, because he can't be Prime Minister if he is not an MP. And he said to the BBC, "It's a question I've asked myself, and I'd have to obviously consult with my wife as well and family." But then listen to this. "Do you know what? If I'm going to sit here and say country before party, party before personal ambition, then yes, I have to say yes, don't I?" And then he went on to confirm that even more clearly, and he was pressed again, "Will you give up your seat for Andy Burnham?" And he said, "I would, yes." Number 10 haven't given any comment on this, but I'm sure they are absolutely freaking out right now. Now, let's take a look at this seat. Would Andy Burnham actually win it? Well, it was a very safe Labour seat at the general election last year. Clive Lewis, I'm genuinely amazed by this because I think that he is insane, this guy, but not very patriotic at all. He refused to swear allegiance to the king, is my understanding, when he came into Parliament. But anyway, he got 47.6% of the vote share, with the Greens in second place straggling behind on only 18.3%. Now, Labour still on track to win. This is from Electoral Calculus. They say that Labour are predicted to get 25.7% of the vote if there was another general election, or in this case we're talking about a by-election. Greens 24% of the vote. Reform quite far behind. Well, 22.5%. Sorry, not too bad actually. You could have a three-way race between Labour, the Greens, and the Reform Party there. Who knows? So it's not confirmed if Andy Burnham stepped down from the mayoralty that he would actually win this seat, because it could be quite a close race actually with the Green Party. However, that polling is done on the basis of Clive Lewis being the MP. I think that a lot of people would prefer Andy Burnham to Clive Lewis. He seems like a much more reasonable, likeable human being, in my opinion. So maybe Labour would have a strong chance of winning it with Andy Burnham, but it's not guaranteed. There's still a big risk, guys. Andy Burnham gives up the mayoralty in Manchester, runs to be an MP, and then loses and has no job whatsoever. That would be very embarrassing. Now, let's take a look at what is going on with a leadership challenge and how this can be triggered. So, we're hearing that we've had one MP anonymously say that patience is, quote, wearing thin with the Prime Minister. People are getting really frustrated and are making moves. So there is a group called the Tribune Group in amongst the MPs, and they claim that they have got together 80 MPs so that they can put forward a candidate to challenge the leadership. Now, that sounds a bit confusing. I have got a bit of an explainer here from The Guardian, who, to their credit, have actually explained this very well about the mechanism for triggering a leadership challenge. So they say a Labour leadership contest can be triggered if 20% of the party's MPs throw their weight behind a replacement candidate. Given there are 405 Labour MPs, 81 would be needed to support a challenger. The threshold was increased from 10% in 2021. Now we had we also here, let's just clarify that trade unions can vote in the ballot, so you need to have the trade unions on side, because they will be having a big say in any leadership contest. I think Andy Burnham probably much better supported by the unions than Keir Starmer, or at least that would be what I expect. Now, how long would this leadership contest take to happen? I don't know. It says here the timing of the contest will be determined by Labour's National Executive Committee. But this is, the moves are being made, and you know what they say, when the herd moves fast, and it feels like they are moving fast now. This is really huge that Clive Lewis has said on the record he will give up his. Of course, we haven't heard from Andy Burnham. We don't know if Andy Burnham actually wants it, but we know that Andy Burnham has been eyeing up the leadership. Now, this comes after there was all this talk about Wes Streeting last week, with this briefing war number 10 coming out on all the front pages saying Keir Starmer will fight any leadership contest. And then everyone said, well, what leadership contest? Is somebody challenging you? And then there would talk of, well, maybe it was Wes Streeting, or maybe it was a fake briefing. And who knows? But it looks like Andy Burnham could be back in the game. Let me know what you think down below. Is this going to happen? Will Keir Starmer be toppled, or will he manage to hang on? Will Andy Burnham take the gamble? I don't know. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe down below so that you can stay up to date with all the news here at Reason. See you next time.